Buddy, I was talking about this deck on Monday, how I've been working on it for a little while, how I've been wanting to play Ruination Rioter in a Flare of Cultivation Seismic Assault shell. And we ended up playing Ruination Rioter in the Jund Chthonian Nightmare deck on Monday. That deck went pretty well. I think we played one league and we 4-1'd. This has been a card that I have brewed with and thought about since MH1, but this is the first week I'm playing it on stream. It's a card that I think has had a lot of potential, but has just been missing pieces until MH3. So this is an MH1 uncommon 2-mana 2/2. Whenever this dies, you may have a deal damage equal to any target, equal to the number of lands in your graveyard. So on Monday, we were like Stitcher Supply in, Malevolent Rumbling, fetching, just filling up the yard, and then like looping Rioter with a Chthonian Nightmare to deal 3 to 5 damage each time. In this deck, Ruination Rioter it goes like a little bit bigger, where you're in theory like discarding all of your lands to Seismic Assault, and then using your last land to target your Ruination Rioter, and then Rioter deals you tons of damage. Additionally, this is another good thing to sack to Flare of Cultivation, which is it's kind of rare, kind of hard to find good things to sack to Flare of Cultivation in Modern. But you can go, crack a fetch, Ruination Rioter, sack it to Flare, kill an opposing creature, and then play a ring on turn 3 while having disrupted your opponent. So having a nice dies trigger on your green creature is nice because of Flare Cultivation. You also get to loop Ruination Rioter with 6 sometimes if you're going off really hard. And I've kind of found this is maybe a little bit win more, but you get to like retrace Rioter with 6, kill it with your Seismic Assault, retrace it again, kill it again, which is like just so much damage. I will say that I still have my eyes on trying to use Flare of Duplication with Rioter, with the card that lets you sacrifice all of your lands. Devastating Summons. You get to copy it, and then Rioter will deal damage equal to the amount of lands you sacked, or plus the lands that are already in your yard. So I think that's pretty fun. We also get to play Turn to Earth as a Graveyard Hate against Goryo's. This card is really hard for Goryo's to beat, because it's, Graveyard Hate, Flashback, Graveyard Hate, and we can mill it over with Rumble and 6 for value, which is pretty nice. And one thing that's really nice about this deck is that we're kind of like very much pre-boarded against energy decks. They're very bad against ring loops. They're very bad against Seismic Assault. Grazer is like a really good blocker against them. 6 having 4 toughness is nice. So like those matchups are not too tough, and that allows you to focus more of your sideboard on matchups like Goryo's, Tron, Nadu, Storm. So let's get going. I'm gonna keep this one a little bit slow, but we got double surreal land. We're surveilling. Do we not like Red and 6? I love Red and 6. What would you cut? I was very much struggling with so like Loam is better than Red and 6 in this deck. You get to mill over it for value with your Rumbles and your 6s. It goes way better with more powerful with Seismic Assaults, but I think that Red and 6 is worse than every other card in this deck, or there's not a single card in this deck I would cut for it. Maybe it's a better way to put that. A little entomb value. Oh yeah, let me switch to the Inspiring Timmy over here. Thank you. Not going to dredge Loam right now. It's usually a good sign for your Modern deck when there are... Oh, I thought I was going to get Stern Scoldinged. It's usually a good sign for your Modern deck when there are like really high quality cards that you could be playing, but there's not really room. So, Ridden 6, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Utopia Sprawl, Freeze Strider Lookout, maybe are some of examples of cards that you would really love to see here, and there's just not quite room. You know what, maybe I was supposed to dredge here. I'm going to go to combat, though. You could cut lands for Ridden 6, it's kind of next to your land itself. That's true. What land would you cut is very tough, though, because you need a lot of fetches, and you also just want to have a lot of lands in your deck, in your Ruin. You like having a ton of lands is awesome. Like, I just milled 3 lands. That's awesome, because when I draw Ruination Rioter, it's just going to be bigger. So I don't think I would cut a land for it, but you know, it's definitely a convo. Yeah, so I love that they're trying to block here because it's gonna make my bolts so good. Nice. So yeah, let's go for bolt plus Seismic Assault here. I'm gonna bolt first because maybe they'll discard like a Spell Pierce. They would have to discard 3 of their 5 cards to save the frog in this spot. They also discarded a Murktide, so they probably have another one in their hand. Okay. So let's play a Seismic Assault. If this resolves, it's pretty over with this Loam in the yard. Of course, this is still this channel, and we don't dodge Spell Pierces over here. So I imagine they're going to play another Murktide. Or the first Murktide, rather, I guess. And then they have Cling to Dust to get rid of my Seismic Assault. That's pretty good. I'm going to dredge the Loam since I got the 6 here. I don't find another Seismic Assault, so let's play this. No Force of Negations, good. That was a very good Cling to Dust. How about Sylvan Safekeeper or Zurin Orb as a way to sack your lands to combo kill in response to Raider dying? I think you'd have to build the deck pretty differently. I've been thinking about Flare of Duplication plus, well, I just said the card's name, Devastating Summons to do something similar to that. But yeah, it would be a little bit different. So if my opponent has a Bowmaster, that'd be pretty bad. I gotta tap this though. Pretty bad. Dude, I could not believe how good that Cling to Dust was. Alright, well, I guess I am hoping to mill a Loam. Or sorry, Seismic Assault. Nope. So I do have Delirium, which means I can Woodland copy to block Bowmaster. So I'm taking 10. I'm going to I guess I can block here. Not dead on board. How is it that I found this strange Rise of the Eldrazi Delaware Devastating Summons? That card used to see Modern play, is how. Okay, so I think I'm blocking the Bowmaster, which could give me the option to tap the ring. Couldn't she have wiped the board with Retrace? 6 still, after all this time, could not retrace instants and sorceries. You would be seeing a lot of that. Okay, so I'm at 1. Oh. Okay. So I guess I have no outs. Fair enough. That Cling was so good. Unbelievably good. Cling's very important, I think, at Dimir to be Flage. Seems like you should be running -1 forest, -1 mountain, +2 cycling lands. I do not like the cycling lands basically at all in this deck. I think I would play the 4th commercial district before the 1st cycling land. They are like literally they only do anything with Loam, and they're like super slow with Loam. And this deck has a lot of a lot of dig for its action cards with the Rumbles and the Shifting Woodland, Loam, and the 6. I'm not. I would play I'll play the 4th Surveil land before the first cycle land. Also, you can't cut 2 basic lands in your Flare of Cultivation deck. I think and only play 4. I think 6 is a pretty important number of basics to have. I guess we'll keep this one. And just Rioter, deal them 2, have the ability to play a ring next turn if they play a frog. You know, like in this situation, we either have to shock or we'd be out of basics right now if we flared. Put the mountain in place, so I guess in theory we could go Seismic Assault plus Bolt this turn. Doesn't seem the most likely. Swap 1 Bolt for 1 Seal of Fire as retraceable 6 removal, also helps Delirium. I think that's a fine suggestion. I kind of like blanking Spell Pierce here, just next turn cast Seismic Assault, the turn after cast Ring. Yeah, you could maybe play Seal of Fire, you know, kind of simply put, Seal of Fire is a worse card than Lightning Bolt. It has synergy with 6. I'm unsure. It's kind of nice that it kills Rioter, like, later. To some extent, you kind of already have that with Rioter plus 6. Alright, so we're playing around. Spell Pierce. Okay. Four cards in their hand. Taking probably just 2. They go up to 5 cards. A little bit surprised that they had that. So I'm going to sack this. Deal 2. Then they'll discard 1. Then I'll deal 2 more. And maybe I just put them to 1 card in their hand. Would be nice if I could put both into my hand here. Discards Consider. Discards Watergrave. I'm kind of shocked they discarded the Consider before that Watergrave. And they also discard a Sink into the Stupor. So going to be a tough one to win. Loam would be a really good draw. Ring. Rumble into something. Probably going to lose. With this amount of mountains and a ramp, would a 1 of Valkyrie worth? There's the mana is just very tight. There's not a lot of wiggle room, but potentially. No beats for 9 months. Thank you, welcome back. Glad you're still liking the stream. I guess I'm killing Bowmasters. Although the problem here, I suppose, is that my opponent just... I kill Bowmasters, I go empty-handed, and they just discard their last 2. So this is lethal, so now I have to go... I kill this, still lethal, okay. Fair enough. Keeping this. A lot of mountains lists don't have Valakut. I mean, I don't want to play less than 10 fetch lands. I don't want to play less than 2 Shifting Woodlands. I don't want to play less than 6 basics. I don't want to play less than 3 Surveil lands. So I guess you could cut Stomping Ground number 4 for 1 Valakut. Doesn't seem like the most major change. Uh-oh. But there's not a lot of wiggle room with the list, I think. I've been talking about this some, but I've spent weeks kind of working on the balance here, and I agree that the list is probably not perfect, but I definitely considered all of these cards y'all are talking about. Okay, let's go ahead and cast a 6. Why 3 Surveils, not 2? I mean, it's a good question. I always think of how I could phrase this for you. I've played a lot of like these kind of decks, a lot of modern decks in general, and in decks that have access to a lot of fetch lands in decks that have like, you know, a lot of graveyard synergies, late game leftover, higher mana curve. I tend to like to play 3. This is like, I tend to not like to play 4, and I tend to like to play 3. It's kind of just been my experience after a lot of playtesting with Surveil lands, I guess. Is there a way to brew Seismic Assault and Necro Dominance? I mean, never say never. It is not the easiest to play. Weird that they left 1 mana up. I guess they have another map. It's not the easiest to play triple black, triple red enchantments when you're in the same deck. But it'll be doable. To be fair, most of the suggestions are marginal changes. It's just when a 1-2 cards cost consistency, or spike special, as I call it. Yeah, I mean, for sure, but it's also like, I've thought about all of these cards and I've consciously decided to not play them, and so just shouting out, Spike! Spike, Valakut! Spike! Sylvan Safekeeper! Spike! Psycho Lands! I've thought about all these cards, and I've consciously made the decision to not include them over any other card I'm playing. So, if you want to see these cards, I just need to know, what would you cut for them? You get a coding. That's good news for me. The Imprint Devourer, which is maybe good for me. Yeah, just play 65. Not the greatest draws, I guess. I think we just play out Seismic Assault and pass. Well, I guess this is a lot worse if they devour my Seismic Assaults, because then I can't go... Oh, what is this? Well, this could be a tough one. It's kind of weird that they... I guess they... Whatever. They played this over the other Tron piece. Not a big deal. So I can go Ruination Rioter, crack my fetch lands. Flare, 5 damage. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I should not have played this. Although, a Loam isn't even lethal anyways. Yes, I don't actually have outs. But they have the Devour to get rid of it. Okay, down a game. In come the Charmaws. And then, I think I wanted to play 2 Damping Spheres. I wanted the 3rd Damping Sphere for Storm, but this was kind of my loose sideboard plan here. Okay, on the play. Keeping a Charmaw hand on the play, of course. The Cycle Lands being able to dredge back from Loam is nice, though. It's nice. I agree that it's nice. I've played a good amount of Seismic Assault Loam piles, and my experience, that dynamic doesn't come up very much. The fact that you are like looping Loam with Cycle Lands, it just doesn't matter very much in like a 1-ring 6 world. I do think it used to be more relevant. I do think it used to be back before you had like 6 in the ring as like these like sicko card advantage engines. And it will come up sometimes, but like we're just like because card advantage engines are better, we're no longer like super duper in on Loam as our card advantage engine, because card advantage engines are better now. And now we also have Surveil lands, which kind of, give you a similar degree of equity, or like, I don't know what the right word is, maybe. But the Surveil lands also are like, card selection utility lands that have graveyard synergies, and I think you want to focus more on those. I guess so I can double Charmaw if they play a land next turn. Because the first one will cost 2, the second will cost 3. The rare, the confident no plus, huh? Let's just go after both Tron lands, I think. You're gonna wish you had activated that card, opponent, although it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Loam is better than Rin and 6 in the stack. The other 2 drops we're playing are better than Rin and 6 in the stack. If you want to suggest a card to add for Rin and 6, I'd be down. Or what a cut. But again, I've spent a long time on this list. I am open to talking about decks. I'm open to talking about changes. But for this one, I've considered all these cards, so I really want to hear what you would do different if you would do something different. All right, they do have a Dismember, which is good for them. Let's hit another Charm off this Rumble. We had a Ruination Rioter, which is pretty big here. Or at least it's capable of dealing 4 damage. 5 if we surveil a land into the yard, I guess. You grab a Tormod's Crypt. Okay. Charmaw, good against Tron, it seems. Glad that that's still happening. I think on the draw, I'm going to want the ramp back in. Maybe we'll go down a Rumble, down a Loam. Turn Earth is just Memories Journey with life gain. No, the main thing with Memories Journey is that you can target your opponent's graveyard. Is Ghost Card not good anymore? Nope, it's not good. They printed Beseiju, but I'm not even playing any Besejus because I need Woodlands. It's kind of weird. Okay, this is an interesting hand. I think on the draw against Tron, I have to mulligan. Just a little slow, no sideboard cards. This hand is not too slow, and it does have sideboard cards. Let's put back... Could put back a land, I guess. We'll put back a Flare. What am I back on Inspiring Timmy for? I just forgot that I've been using this to, like, finish tuning lists in the morning, and I just decided to keep playing it today. But this one has been easier to, like, deck build in, because I can, like, deck build Goldfish, like, 10 hands. Keep going. Alright, turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer on the play. They snap off the Charmaw, which is maybe okay. I'm gonna graveyard this, make the Rioter a bit stronger. Hard to not just play Damping Sphere. There's a good chance I'm just gonna hardcast this Flare next turn. Also. Seems like the play. Down to 11. The Rider can trade for the Seer, which is nice. Land number 3 from our opponent, but still only 3 mana. Seems fair, right? Rumbling. So this costs 3 mana. Hard to say no to here. Okay, Dismember's pretty good. Thankfully I have the Spawn to chump the Seer, so I'm not gonna probably die to my ring. So down to 8. Do I have Delirium? I have Sorcery, Creature, Land, so I'm missing a type or two, I guess. Let's start off with another Rumble. Looking for Seismic Assaults. Did not find one. I think I'm putting this Damping Sphere into my hands, despite... Oh, so many base. I only have one basic left in my deck, I guess. But I just want the 4th land in the yard so that I can Rioter the Seer. It's not... I guess Dredging Loam is... Also, it could be right to put this into my hand instead of play. I think I'll put this into play just because I have this Stamping Sphere taxing my mana. Kind of close. Weird game. Okay. Opponent seems to... Yeah, hate plussing this card. It's just really weird. Okay, I'm going to dredge the Loam now, trying to find something to copy with the Woodland. Okay, so I don't have Delirium at the moment. Oh, wait, I do have Delirium. I milled the enchantment, of course. Okay. So can I kill my opponent here? I can go Woodland, copy Seismic Assault. I have 8. Yeah, I just actually have super lethal. Okay, nice. Just Loam twice. I think it's a good guess, Iron Blood, that they've realized now, but that might be why, that they thought they had to target something. I'm counting this. I know about the sphere, that I can use the spawn to cast the other Loam. Watch. And now I just have 12 more damage. You can't Loam twice. Y'all have to, you know, pay for your wrongness in chat with gifted subs. I don't know. I also could play a land. I could also play a land. But you know, you're off to a good start, I think. Yeah, you have to play some filter lands probably too. Do I take my Grazer here? It's fine, I guess. Kind of a bummer that we might not get to use the Surreal. I guess, like... Okay, just keep that in the deck. Four cards still. Guide and Pride. Pretty good. I think with the Loam in my hands, it's better to take the Assaults. Kind of close. Graveyard has so you can draw 6. Oh, for Retrace with 6. Yeah, I guess so. Seems like that would have been fine. Five. Okay. Gotta dodge a Static Prison for a little bit, maybe. Only milled one land. Also, is a little bit awkward. It's not the end of the world, I guess. Oh, so I guess I can get back 3 things if I just go play this first. Guess I'll save this for Dash Ragavan, but I'm probably going to try to kill this cat. think we'll just kill this cat now. So we're kind of hoping to find... so one thing also with the Cycle Land is, like, Shifting Woodlands are also kind of better than Cycle Lands. Because we'll eventually mill over a Shifting Woodland that will allow us to, like, copy a ring or copy something. And they just concede. Okay, nice. I do think that this matchup is just pretty good. Which is why I'm not really dedicating sideboard cards to it. I was thinking I could play, like, a turn to Earth or two post-board. But I'm mostly just planning on running it back. Let's just run it back, I think. I don't know. Maybe the first one is good for Flage and Nightmare. Let's play one. Let's play one. I was definitely struggling with what to cut. What do we do against Needle? Needle's not a super common card, but Needle on Seismic Assault is good against us. Can, I guess, in theory, Rioter them out of the game. Cut a Loam. Good cut a Loam. Jam Room, 14 months. Thank you, welcome back. Surprised no Besage at the mana base. The mana is very tough. There's no Beseiju because we... Like, I would play the third Shifting Woodland before the first Beseiju. And it's very difficult to play non-fetchable... like, we need to play 2 basic forests, I think, for Flare of Cultivation. We need to play... I would play the third Shifting Woodland before the first Beseiju, but I didn't even feel like there was room for the third Shifting Woodland. But the Woodland is just such an important part of this deck's game plan. You need these basic forests. We have a triple red card in Seismic Assault. It's just... I just don't think we can afford it. It's a good draw. Jammer, 14 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Takes the ring. Might be able to retrace. I'm going to play my 6. So that gives them enough energy to maybe discharge my 6 here. The second Guide of Souls. 3 cards left in their hand. Oh. The card's kind of funny. It's kind of funny here. Where it's pretty fragile, and if it deals 2 damage if I have Seismic Assault, and it looks like I do indeed have Seismic Assault. So let's see if I find a land off my 6 to retrace the ring. I do. Is that going to be better for me than playing the Seismic Assault? I think so, yeah. Because if my 6 dies, I'll be really remiss that I didn't retrace the ring. And this will also, you know, in theory, probably put some lands into my hand for me to Seismic Assault next turn. Why don't we block with 6 there? Did they not have mana for Bowmaster? Or did they play the Harshminter first? Sorry. Sorry, they didn't play the Minter first. I should have just blocked, yeah. It punishes exactly 0 assault activations. Oh, right. It's enchant. It doesn't say enchantment. That's funny. Okay, Nile Spellbomb means I'm probably not dredging Loam here. Also probably wrong for them to not make 1 big Guide of Souls. Well, not super wrong. Okay, so we're at 16. Alright, so I'm going to play the Seismic Assault, then I'm going to attack with 6. And I did not find a land. So now we'll see how they block. Opponent might think that you could retrace Bolt or something. Okay, so I'm going to order the blockers like this, and then I'm going to bank on finding a land here to keep my 6 alive. Take 2 damage down to 14. Did find a land, so now I get to go 2 damage. 2 damage to the Skite of Souls. 2 damage to the Skite of Souls. And they need a land to escape Flage because they only have 1 energy at the moment. So Pride, Giganthan hands. Hit me for 3 down to 11. Then I take 2 down to 9. They make an extra cat, extra life, extra energy. Down to 9. Don't need to dredge Loam because I just have 2 Loams in my hand, I guess. Let's attack first. Maybe I should have attacked before tapping the ring. Probably doesn't matter a lot. So do I have lethal? My opponent's at 21. This is 6 damage, 2 damage. I guess it could be +1 if I just cast the bolts. Not quite lethal. So we're in board control mode. I guess I should probably also do this. I think I'll kill the cat too. I guess maybe main phasing that's bad against Nile Spellbomb. They're gonna escape the Flage. Could be in trouble against the Flage, I guess. Rumble to help find ring. I don't know that we need the ring here. Maybe we need a ring. Could play the last Slam Loam again. Yeah, maybe I messed up there. I thought had I not already played my land for turn? If we could have Loam there, we should have. I thought I had already played my land for turn. So keep them at 21. I'm basically at 3. Not the best life total to be at. Gonna dredge this. So I can loam 3 times. Just tap this first. Only drew 1 land off this. Not actually very ideal. Should I rumble looking for another ring? I could dredge I know I can dredge twice with ring, but I don't have the mana to cast Loam 4 times. I won't ever have 8 mana here. Bolt makes it lethal. Well, I guess it was lethal if I had dredged one of the Loams. But now I can't triple Loam anymore. I guess I messed up. I was kind of thought I needed to look for ring. So this is, okay, so this is 12 damage. 14. 17. And then if I find a land off Rumble, and if I find a land off 6, it's lethal. So I guess let's just attack with 6 first. Obviously could play it a little bit better. Okay, there's a land. There's also a Turn the Earth, which is kind of interesting, because it's a source of life gain here. Oh, the Flare. I wasn't counting the Flare. Okay, so Grazer, Bolt. Do I have another basic in my deck? I do not have another basic in my deck. I just drew it off the 6. Alright, so if I find a land off the Rumble, it's lethal. Okay, there we go. Closer than it needed to be. Hopefully I didn't miscount. That's never happened on this channel before. Dredging it. Oh, right, we didn't have the bolt, so the dredging before didn't make sense. Okay. Easy. Alright, despite the play pattern implications, let's mulligan here. Just too slow. I'm gonna click keep, I think, on 6. Why don't we put back the Loam? Little ways away from that being online. I'm gonna keep a Grazer since I got the Flare to go with it. It's a pretty good grab here, I guess. No Grazer, Flare, Bolt next turn. We did lose to a counterspell opponent earlier. The woodlands are pretty important to be in counterspell decks. I wanted to play a third. Didn't quite feel like we could. Want the ability to surveil, so I'm going to do this. No spell pierce. Thank you, opponent. Against Jeskai. So we can resolve the ring against Jeskai. It is pretty dang hard to lose. That was easy. Is there a split and wreck to hand? It's Loam is the basically the closest you're gonna get to that. Okay, so let's see if this Seismic Assault resolves. If it doesn't, we'll go Stomping Ground 6, I think, and if it does, we'll go discard Stomping Ground Loam. Just want to keep the ring alive. It's like, you know, I think one of the weirdest things about Modern is like how weak Jeskai is to a resolved ring. To some extent, Boros too. Maybe our opponents like playing Leyline Binding in their deck, but oh, instant speed pending, cool. Okay, so I guess we're gonna get our last Surveil land this turn. Guess they don't have an untapped 4th color here. How weak every deck is to resolve ring? This is not true. Like, Tron, Nadu, Ruby Storm, Goryo's. I feel like I'm forgetting a big one too. But also like Control did not used to be this weak to a resolved ring. They used to have like they just played 4 main deck Leyline Binding, and you would even set yourself up for turns where you didn't care if your opponent cast a ring. Necro doesn't care much about ring. Dimir with Bowmasters cares less. Living in through the breach decks. Yeah, it's I think it's mostly just Control that is like just so weak to it, right? So I want to draw the Rumble, then let's tap the ring and then dredge the Loam. Yeah, it's mostly just Jeskai and Energy that are just so weak to it. Alright, so let's look for another Seismic Assault off this Rumble. We can loan back the Woodland later. Alright, put this on top, and then I think it's a good time to cast a 6. Gonna value the spawn more than the 2 life from the Stomping Ground. Not sure that that's exactly right, but it's probably fine. Big misinfo territory to say all decks don't care about ring. Did I say don't? I might have said don't care about, but maybe what I should say, and to just be perfectly wording everything all the time for all my wonderful chatters, is that Jeskai like kind of cannot beat a resolved ring. Energy is very, very bad against the ring too, whereas old control lists with Leyline Binding, Tron, Goros, all the other lists I mentioned have a lot of game against ring decks. Is that okay for me to say it that way? Or are you talking to another chat? Okay, sorry. It's okay. I do want to make sure that I'm clear. I'm not, salty or whatever. Okay, I don't want to die to Flage plus Kill Subtlety plus okay, the stupid dress down. I would want to go sack this to a flare here. Oh, I also can't sack the spawn, right? Okay, so let's attack the Teferi, I guess, and then just cast 2 Rioters. I was agreeing with you, Lamau. Yeah, it's okay. I just want to make sure I'm clear. Just like, a teacher to classroom. I want to make sure y'all know what I'm talking about. Have you moved from aggro combo control rock paper scissors to a ring strong to ring situation? So modern has always been a very weird format. I think the traditional attitude of aggro control mid range combo like rock paper scissors has basically never been super representative of like modern's gameplay. It's like specific decks line up in weird ways against specific decks. Due to like odd interactions and like what sideboard cards you can play. It's modern is what I love about modern is how weird the format is and like how basically every deck needs to be like breaking standard pioneer level gameplay conventions. Like, with the exception of Boro Synergy, if you're just going 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, it ain't gonna be that good for you. Oh, nice. Are you just dead? You gotta be close to dead. Yeah, they're going to 3. So we can go 6 Retrace plus Flare. Maybe in 2014. Yeah, maybe. That was a little bit before I started playing Modern. I started playing, I think, in 2015? Maybe I started playing 2014. Back in, like, the, towards the end of the Twin Pod era, I played for maybe, like, 9 months. Maybe a year before that got banned. Okay, so we're up a game against Control. Kind of similar to the Energy matchup. I think we're pretty good against them. So I do want to play some Turn to Earth for their Flages. I think I'll just do a 2-2 split. Click Submit. Yeah, I think the Rock, Paper, Scissors thing, too, is like hasn't even been true in Standard for a while, probably. I think hardcore control without Flage might be better than most Jeskai control lists. Why tap out and try to win the game when you can just keep drawing, countering, removing, Firepaw? I mean, that's basically blue-red Wizards, is like the instant speed stuff. Oh, also, I have a really juicy Wizards list that I played a little bit with, but I don't know how good it is. It's so juicy, though. It's so... I don't know. We'll get to it maybe today. Juliet, appreciate you, 20 months. Thanks for bringing the heat 5 days a week. I do my best. Doing my very best. Okay, I think I'm going to play the Rioter this turn and get a little bit more pressure going. Not the best, maybe if they just Flage it this turn. How would you define modern decks? I agree, it's weird, but kind of good, kind of weird. How would you define a modern deck? It's just too complicated of a question. Like it's so weird and complicated. You could write a whole dissertation on talking about the intricacies of modern archetypes. So, it's not the kind of question you could just answer with like a little heuristic or something. Do I want to flare this turn? Kinda. Yeah, let's go Rumble plus 6 next turn. Seems okay. And if they want to gain 3 life with the Lantern, that'd be okay too. Thought maybe the power flickered for a second. Esther, did the power flicker? No response. Force negation my flare. Alright, the fact that they're like using resources like this makes me think they're gonna go land ring next turn. We'll see what happens. What do you think about playing Null Drifter in a Karuga Helga list? Okay, so good question. I've been thinking about cutting Helga from the Karuga deck for Null Drifter, so you could just play Ugin's Labyrinth, which I don't know. It seems kind of juicy to me. Looking for Seismic Assault. Looking for a ring. Uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't have taken the land. Brick's so hard here. Helga is really cool, and like maybe you could still play some Helgas too, but probably not 4. Helga is also, you know, fine with Null Drifter. But the problem is, it's like you don't want to play Ugin's Labyrinth and Helga in the same deck, was what I was thinking. So I don't know. I'll take a draw step, probably going to go to game 3. Hard time flooded. Fight a Seismic Assault to the yard, we kind of can't lose there. Maybe we can take another draw step. Let's just go to game 3. Yeah, I mean, if you have Leyline, it solves the problem, but you really need to have, like, fail-safe if you don't have Leyline. I can't keep double bolt turn. You just can't have... These are the worst cards of the matchup, kind of. I do love to have Shifting Woodland in my opening hand. I don't really love to have 3 basics, so I guess I can bottom one. Yeah, Ugin's Labyrinth Karuga may be coming. I guess milling over this turn the earth was good. But just not finding 6-ring Seismic Assault is pretty dang bad. I'm gonna upkeep a Surveil here. Karuga Eldrazi seems rough because you lose K-Command. I'm not suggesting playing Eldrazi Karuga. I'm suggesting playing... Interesting. I'm suggesting playing Ugin's Labyrinth in a Karuga deck where you have 4 Null Drifter and you have 4 Scion of Draco as ways to imprint, to power out Karuga, the Ring, Hardcast Subtlety, Hardcast Solitude, Hardcast Lore and Revealed. That kind of stuff. That's pretty scary. But it's a force of negation into their hand, too. So funny enough, if I hit like a Seismic Assault, I'm going to graveyard it so I can Shifting Woodland. At that point, why not also run Eldrazi Temple and All's Dust? Well, Eldrazi Temple and All's Dust are not very good in your Scion of Draco Leyline of the Guild Pack deck. They don't have another land, which is interesting. This Loam is also super interesting. Because now we get to bait Force of Negation on the Loam and then maybe slam a ring. What do you think the correct number for Hits for Labyrinth? 8 seems low. 8 is fine. I've played plenty of times. It's like kind of the minimum. But it's like your deck is not all in on Ugin's Labyrinth. Ugin's Labyrinth can also just tap for a mana, you know. They're having a hard time resolving this. It keeps saying targets are illegal because Flooded Strand is targeted more than once. Oh my gosh, they messed it up. They messed it up. They couldn't figure it out. Yes, so it needed to still have 3 targets. All right, so that was a good flip for me. That was a good flip for me, I guess. I have a hard time convincing myself that all the green Eldrazi lists are better than the Cookbook, Trinisphere, Chalice list of Tron. All these Boros decks just seem like a no-brainer. The land destruction is nice, but all the green mana source decks seem so low. And adding more just lowers the power level of your deck. Okay, that's fine. I actually really don't think that the Cookbook Emrakul is even the way to go in Tron. I've been like really liking no Emrakul, no Cookbook, no Urza Saga, just play Breaker of Creation. I'm guessing because I can put your legend in your hand, but since there are 3 targets, I can't just get 2 strands in my hand. Yeah, definitely weird. But I don't know. I've had a lot of success with the mono green Eldrazi. Okay, so and then I don't get any lands into my hand. That's so weird. I've had a good time with the mono green Eldrazi lists, and I think that those builds are good. I had a lot of, I don't know. So like one thing with my thing with the mono green lists is that I had like such a hot run with that archetype. I just basically did a lot of just never losing with mono green Eldrazi that I don't even really know the exact matchup spread because I was just like farming. Okay, is it too risky for me to woodland attack this with? They could galvanic discharge me. Oh, it's not too risky because I could just loam back the woodland. Duh. Arbound Turgan, through the months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Such a weird spot. Wow, and we won. Shout out Invert Polarity. Although I guess, it was still basically a counterspell. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Worked out well for us. Got a mulligan that one. Keeping this on 6. Thank you for the cheer toff. Good to know how that rules interaction works. Seeing the name of the next card drawn. Brutal Nightmare Primal Prayers. I've thought about it some. I haven't made it very far. Flare. Oh, I guess I'm graveyarding this. Basic Mountain. Alright, so we're going to draw 2 with our Loam. A nice little unmulligan. Yeah, I do agree that Nightmare plus Primal Prayers is interesting. And we could figure something out with it someday. I think we're up against blue-white control again. They've been playing Xander's Lounge, Arid Mesa a lot lately. Looks like their build probably has Leyline Binding, which is going to make my rings much worse. Yeah, both synergistic with Satoro. Satoro's theoretically in your colors. Definitely something there. Or sounds like something's there. Watch the stream for 20 minutes and Spike has yet to find Seismic Assault 2 in once. Well, 20 minutes is like a game and a half. Any brews of the Orm's Chant? I don't believe Orm's Chant is playable. I could be wrong about that, but I think that card's pretty bad. And I've played against it a couple times, and it has not seemed particularly good. Right, okay, to Loam here. Oh, there's a Shifting Woodland. That's perfect. Less than perfect. I get to resolve my 6, maybe? CK with the 30 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. But as soon as we find another Loam, it's going to be pretty good. Spike no longer a Loam hater? Well, I've said this many times when people suggest Loam. I only think Loam is playable if you have Seismic Assault in your deck. And we're here finally. I actually don't know if I've ever played Loam. We can look at if I've ever played Loam without Seismic Assault. Okay. Life from the Loam. Seismic Assault, Assault. No, Life from the Loams. I don't know what that was. That's today. Okay. I think it's like picking up some buzzwords. Oh! I have a one of Loam. Oh, no, sorry. I used to play Loam in my Gifts and Given piles. Oh, I forgot about my Uro Gifts and Given piles, too. This deck was juicy, dude. This deck was so juicy. Also, maybe the worst deck I've ever played. Okay. Let's go Rumble into Ring. Looking for another Loam, maybe. Oh, we did mill. Wow, what a hit. This is wild. So I think we take 6, because we could just, like, Loam back the Woodland and then copy Seismic Assault. And 6 is, like, better thing to slam. I'm gonna slam the Ring here. Oh, sorry. I forgot about the fact that they are maybe playing Leyline Binding. I guess I should probably just take this draw because I could hit my land drop. It's kind of weird. And then, like, Loam onto my next draw. Oh, this one was so nice. Yeah, we're trying to Titan's Nest to cast Time Stretch, Worst Fears. Also, like, Titan's Nest would let you gifts for 1 mana, and then it would, like, kind of fill the yard a little bit, and then you could, like, gifts for more. Oh, this deck was so nice. Ugh, it was awful, though. Okay, so I guess I should say Loam is sometimes fun with Gifts and Given, too. Dang, we used to play decks on this channel. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have a second force. Yeah, I've always been the Sultai guy, I guess. Another Woodland in the yard. Good draws. So I guess copying Assault and dealing them 2 damage is probably a little bit worse than just casting 6 and bolting them. How do I feel about revisiting Titan's Nest, but this time with Insidious Roots? I would feel pretty bad about it, probably. Sounds very fun and very awful. It's like, for like, Roots kind of needs to be like the top of your mana curve almost. Like, it's a powerful card, but it's your main engine. But dude, Wrath the Skies like has killed so many of my pet decks. It's just like, it's just so hard to beat. Like, your opponent just draws one of their 4 Wrath the Skies over the course of like 6 turns. You're like, oh no. Bolt the red, maybe. No, I'm this red doesn't matter at all. I'm gonna be bolting their face, baby. Their name is Dome. They're getting a bolt to the Dome. They have a ring in play. They're not missing land drops. Not a lot of loyalty. Maybe like Flage plus ping is a little bit of a problem. I guess if they Flaged first, I could. Wait, they Wrath the Skies X equals 3? Do you have to trophy with that Asmo snake deck? Wait, what's the snake? What snake would you be playing with Asmo? The 6 mana Viper from Bloomborough. 6 mana? But costs 1 less for each permanent you sack any number of non-land permanents. When it enters or attacks, put a blight counter on it. For each blight counter, opponent loses 4, unless the player sacrifices non-land permanent or discards a card. Huh. Cool card. So I can go copy Woodland, throw all 4 lands of my opponent, put them to 3, and then they go to 1, and I have a bolt in my hand. Probably a bit better to bolt them than discard 3 to deal them 9, and just make it to where they die unless they solitude in their upkeep. Shifting Woodland's so broken. Maybe we should be playing 3. It's kind of tough to include. Not sure that they're playing Flage. I think we're just gonna maybe play only 1 turn the Earth. Nah, we should play 2. They're probably playing Flage. They gotta be playing Flage. Okay, so it enters 1 trigger, attacks 2. Don't think this card is good. I'm also pretty confused by the Cauldrons. I guess they're Grist deck. So the Viper was good? Viper looks okay. I've done any cool brews with Necro. I've done some cool brews with Necro with like Nourishing Shoal, Otacron Worm, and Sorin, but they were not as good as like the CFB lists. Okay, so Graveyard's a ring. Cauldron Grist would I match on his own? Yeah, I mean, Cauldron Grist is good. Yeah, we haven't tried Sorin all to the bone. We could get to it. You know, there is still a lot to get to in Modern, despite popular belief. This Grazer's not really getting better. Yeah, me too, Desert Nomad. I've been wanting to play a list with Rioter for the longest time. It has been a card I've liked and a card I've really wanted to be good since MH1, and I've like just never quite got there. I've cut it with Seismic Assault and cut it a few times, but it's like Flare of Cultivation. It's like it's just also a good thing to sack to Flare of Cultivation. And it gives you like that density of hits and also can deal like such big damage. Retrace with 6, just kind of think finally got there. We also 4-1 with it in a Jund Chthonian Nightmare list on Monday. So let's double spell this turn, and I think I'd like to maybe put my best foot forward with like 2 threats. So maybe we'll go Rioter plus Seismic Assault here. The other thing I'm feeling in regards to invert polarity is the spell should fizzle if they gain control of it. All targets can't be changed. It did fizzle. It did fizzle there. We're talking about the weird. So if you missed it last match, my opponent, we cast Loam on 3 lands in our yard. My opponent inverted polarity, won the flip because they only had 2 lands. They couldn't select legal targets, and it just fizzled. It was very odd encounter. That's pretty good against me. No Ren 6 deck? Nope. Loam is better. I think Rider is better. I think that Rumble is better. And so it's kind of tough to include a 2-drop in your deck when you think that there are like 3 different 2-drops that are better. Certainly not impossible. Is there only one way to sack the Ruiner with Cultivation? So you also can Seismic Assault your Rider, which will also, like, the land you discard will count towards the damage dealt. But yeah, this was a very hard deck to build. I wanted to play Fable, Utopia Sprawl, Renin 6. I wanted to play Beseiju. There's just a lot of cards that did not make the cut, despite me wanting to get them in. So we're fetching here, so our Rioter deals more damage. Same thing with the Rumble. Alright, 6 being able to retrace another Rioter seems pretty nice. Did it? Okay, did move one more land. We're just on 2x beats now. Well, we can draw bolts and flares to kill our own Rioters. My opponent will probably have some exile base removal, like Prismatic Ending, Solitude, Bolt, but they'll also have some discharges, Wrath the Skies, so Flage, so they may have a hard time effectively killing this, we'll see. Yeah, the build is definitely a little bit weird. Is Riders the Mark deck still playable at all? Not really. The deck was really cool, but you just play Boros Energy probably, it's just so much better. And it's like, you know, like one thing about Boros Energy compared to like the Riders of the Mark Humans is like Riders has to draw cards in like pretty specific orders in order to have like powerful nut draws. And when it does, it's awesome and it's like modern power level. But the thing with Boros is as long as you have a reasonable mana curve, you can kind of just draw your cards in, you know, any order. A lot of your cards are replaceable on your curve. Gonna be able to update the Teamer Prayers Moxfield today. I don't like to update the list in the Moxfield until I play them on stream, typically, because I want to be, you know, able to make more changes in between updates, and then I want the update to be exciting so people can watch them. But the big thing is that you should play 6 over Eternal Witness. Tune Binding. They binding the Rioter. Interesting. 6 can't retrace Riders, can it? It can. Rioter is a non-land permanent. Why wouldn't it be able to? Very interesting they chose to go after the Rioter instead of the ring here. So I'm at 15. Flare lets me maybe go 6 retrace Rioter, sack the Rioter. When I retrace, I also discard another land. It's probably going to get countered, though. I guess I can't win. Alright, instead of trying to win via 6 attacks, maybe we should concede. So why don't we bring in extra Turn the Earths to combat the Surgicals? Just one more. Bolts and 6. I mean, yeah, we could play it out, I guess, but I think for the sake of like not having to play like 15 more minutes against Control, I just want to go to game 3, you know? Just so the stream's pace could not come to a grinding halt. If we were in a tournament, we played out. Oh yeah, also only have 2 bolts in total. Alright, on the play for game 3. Charmaw's another threat and kill their lands. I think I'd rather just play Turn the Earth so that I can fight the Surgicals and fight their Flages. Charmaw is not a very good threat in the matchup. Thoughts are brewing involving green-black scam, scamming a grief from the yard via 6 seems sweet. We played this green-black Fanatic of Rona's Shifting Woodland Archon Reanimator deck that we still like never really played a full. I think we like 4-1'd in between a challenge, and I meant to play it on stream, and I just had other stuff, and I kind of got lost in the pile. But that deck was awesome, and that deck also played Grief Scam, which could be a 4-power creature for Fanatic. And then like Fnatic was like there to like activate Woodland or hardcast Archon, which was really awesome. And I'd be open to playing some of that at some point again. People have asked about Valakutes. I would play a 3rd Woodland over Valakut if I needed another like utility land, but I don't think you should. They probably don't have a binding because they didn't get their white Triumph first. Rumblin'. Bricked, but we hit a turn on the earth, which is fun. I'm okay if they go like counterspell my Rioter plus surgical the Rioter right now. So my land count 25. Yeah, 25. Okay, that's fine. Maybe the first full brick room I've seen. Well, not exactly a full brick, but pretty close. Was I unimpressed by my Helga Cyan deck? Not really. I thought it was fine and it was fun, and I would be down to play it again. We were actually talking about playing that deck again, but okay, more bricks. We're talking about playing that deck again, but choosing to play Null Drifter over Helga, so we could play Ugin's Labyrinth, which I think sounds pretty fun. Another brick. It's probably right for me to dredge Loam. So it's just like 3 more looks at something with the 6. Next turn, of course. But I thought the Helga Cyan deck was fine. Like we played like 3 or 4 matches in a row against Tron, and that matchup was pretty bad. I think they have surgical. Must have a surgical here. They should print something so we can put Lich again. You know, I'm honestly kind of surprised they didn't print another good like looter in MH3, but they did give us highway robbery in whatever that set was before MH3. There's a woodland. The surgical 6. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be bait for. So they're gonna surgical 6, remove the 6 I have, but then I can just like Loam, woodland, copy ring. It's fine. Just whatever. You can do that. Kitz is a good looter. No, Kitz is a fine looter. When we're talking about looters that enable Demi Lich, I'm talking about instants and sorceries. You don't want to play like 2 mana. Oh, that also was not an MH3 card, but I'm talking about instants and sorceries. Can you burn them out? Again, 6 cannot retrace lightning bolts. Cannot reach. It can only retrace permanent cards. Okay, so I can start drawing cards that return with the woodland. Is it too weak to retrace Seal of Flame a bunch? I don't know. I think you could play some Seal of Fires for the 6 synergy. I wouldn't play very many of them. 7 cards in hand, all bricks. Well, maybe one day one of these. If I just dredge over a Seismic Assault, the game ends immediately. And I think I still have some Seismic Assaults in the deck. The big problem, I guess, is if they binding my woodland here. I don't think they have 2 bindings because it took them so long to binding the 6, and then they just drew this Ridden 6, right? So it seems tough for them to have one here. Okay, that's fine, because we just have Loam to get that back. And then, yeah, that's fine. Oh, there's a Seismic Assault. Alright, no surgical. Besage Bruto there? Not really. Okay. Nice first league. Nice first league. Let's do another one. Have I tried Woodlands on a Planeswalker yet? I did in Cube. Well, the Woodland just dies if you copy a Planeswalker.